I'd like to congratulate Catherine and Alex, two members of the White House Press Corps, on their engagement over the weekend. So congratulations. And with that, I don't know if they even showed up today, but that's okay. Definitely would have given them a question, but since I don't see them, Kevin, we'll go with you.
Thank you, Sarah. A couple questions. First on Gina Haspel. Is it true the president and yourself and others had to sort of convince her not to withdraw her name from consideration? And if so, what was that like? And has this circumstance happened before since you've been at your position here at the White House? And a follow about Don Blankenship. Why does the president believe he can't win an election in the state of West Virginia?
Let me answer the first question, we'll come back to that. In regards to Acting Director Haspel, her commitment to the agency is one of the reasons that she is the right person to lead it. She wants to do everything she can to make sure the integrity of the CIA remains intact, isn't unnecessarily attacked, and if she felt that her nomination would have been a problem for that and for the agency, then she wanted to do everything she could to protect the agency. At the same time, she wants to do everything she can to protect the safety and security of Americans, which is why she is 100% committed to going through this confirmation process and being confirmed as the next leader of the CIA.
And the follow-up was on Blankenship in West Virginia. Why does the president believe that he can't win an election in the state of West Virginia? Why not?
As you all know, I have a few more limitations than the president, and due to the Hatch Act, can't get into the specifics about an election prior to it taking place. But I'd refer you back to the president's tweet, which I think is pretty clear, and if he has more to say on it, he certainly will.
Thanks, Sarah. We also congratulate Alex and Catherine. Rudy Giuliani said that if necessary, it's possible that Michael Cohen could have paid off other women to keep them quiet about alleged affairs with the president. Is that possible? Are there other women out there who receive money from the president to stay quiet?
I'm not aware of any other activity, but I would refer you to Rudy Giuliani to respond to any of those questions, or anybody else on the president's outside counsel.
But you've been in his circle for a long time now. You were on the campaign. Is that anything that came across your desk?
Again, I'm not aware of anything like that, but I would refer you to the president's outside counsel. Steve?
The president's got a May 12th deadline on the Iran nuclear deal. Is he wavering on this deal based on the pressure from the Europeans with Boris Johnson here this week?
The president will make an announcement on what his decision is soon. As you know, he's got a few days to do that, and we'll let you know when he's ready to make a decision on it.
John Kerry's shadow diplomacy, how does that impact the deliberations?
I don't think it impacts it at all. I think the president spoke out about that pretty clearly, and I don't think that we would take advice from somebody who created what the president sees to be one of the worst deals ever made. I'm not sure why we would start listening to him now. John?
Thank you, Sarah. Back to Gina Haspel. Her confirmation hearing is on Wednesday. It's an open hearing before the Senate Intelligence Committee. Are there any questions that are off limits from the White House's point of view as it relates to her career at the CIA?
We think that Acting Director Haspel is a highly qualified, uniquely positioned individual to lead the CIA, and we're very confident in her ability to answer the questions that we know are going to come. And if you don't believe me, listen to some of the quotes from a lot of other people that have been very outspoken in her support, in their support for her. Former Director Leon Panetta said, "I'm glad it's Gina because frankly, she is someone who really knows the CIA inside and out." Former Director Michael Hayden said Haspel is the absolute best choice to be director. Former Acting Director and Deputy Director Michael Morrell said she is capable, she has integrity, she cares deeply about the mission of the agency, and she cares deeply about the men and women of the agency. And lastly, former Acting Director and Deputy Director John McLaughlin said, "If you were picking a professional officer to head the agency, I can't think of a better person than Gina." We want her to get a fair hearing, a thorough hearing, and we're very confident that not only will all of the members of the Senate see what the rest of us see, and certainly even some of the people that have held that position see, but that Gina is more than qualified to run and lead the agency.
So Sarah, if she's asked any questions regarding enhanced interrogation techniques that took place during her tenure at the CIA that Democrats say that she was involved with, she can answer them fully in an open hearing. Is that your position?
I'll let her address those questions as they come. But as we've said, we think all of the issues surrounding her record, her experience will be brought up, and we're fully confident in her ability to answer those questions. Steve?
Yes, Sarah. President Putin in Moscow was inaugurated today for a new 6-year term. Over the weekend throughout Russia, we saw police arresting, it's estimated, about 1,600 anti-Putin demonstrators, including organizer and anti-corruption campaigner Alexei Navalny. We've seen the president tweet about other Russia matters today, but not about either of these things. What message does the president have for the Kremlin and the Russian people about these events?
First, the president congratulates him and looks forward to a time when we can hopefully have a good relationship with Russia. However, the United States believes that everyone has a right to be heard and assemble peacefully. Blake?
Sarah, thank you. The president has said in the past that the Russia investigation is an excuse for Democrats losing the 2016 election, but today he appeared to look forward to the 2018 midterms. He tweeted out, quote, "Is this phony witch hunt going to go on even longer so it wrongfully impacts the midterm elections, which is what the Democrats always intended," and he ended that with a question mark. Does the president now believe that the Russia investigation actually has to do with the 2018 midterms as well?
I think he thinks that the idea that this narrative continues to be driven, the fact that a year and a half later, after spending most all of your time every single day looking into this and still finding nothing, the fact that we're still talking about it will and has the potential to impact the 2018 election. I think the point he's making is how ridiculous it is that we're still having this conversation and the depths to which this research has gone on and investigation has been conducted and still produced nothing.
Is the president pleased with the appearances of Rudy Giuliani over the last few days?
I didn't speak with him specifically about his feelings about it, but certainly feels that he's an added member, added value member to his outside special counsel. Francesca.
Thank you, Sarah. On that note, Rudy Giuliani said yesterday that the president could plead the fifth if he's subpoenaed by the special counsel. And I want to know why the president would even go that route if he hasn't done anything wrong, as he said repeatedly that there was no collusion and there was no obstruction of justice.
That's a question you'd have to ask the outside special counsel. I'm not an attorney, certainly couldn't address that.
Okay,
Jim?
I'm sorry, Sarah.
Sorry, I'm going to keep moving just because we're going to get real tight on time here. Jim?
In the same vein, does the president believe it is within his executive powers to reject a subpoena from the special counsel's office?
That's a question I would refer you to
And if I-
special
Can I
counsel.
follow up on Gina Haspel?
I'm going to just keep moving because I did it to your colleague. David?
The president, this time around on Iran, Mike Pompeo, Secretary of State, and he's got John Bolton, new National Security Advisor. They've been among the most prominent critics of the Iran deal. I mean, is there any reason to think President Trump won't kill the deal when Saturday rolls around?
The president will make that announcement very soon. We'll certainly keep you all posted on it as it happens. Michael?
On the EPA, Andrew Wheeler is now confirmed as the second in command of the EPA. Does the president think that he would be able to continue the deregulatory agenda that Mr. Pruitt has been in charge of, were he to remove Mr. Pruitt? And given the sort of cascade of ethical problems, how close is, what's the status of the review that you guys have been saying that you're doing, and is the president closer to removing Mr. Pruitt from office?
I don't have any personnel announcements on that front. Certainly, we have confidence in the number two. Otherwise, the president wouldn't have asked him to serve at such a senior level position within the EPA. But I don't have anything further on that front. Justin?
I wanted to catch back up with on China after the delegation came back. Presuming that the president's had some sort of briefing on that interaction now, can you tell us his reaction to the talks that happened, if the U.S. plans to talk to China again before the May 22 public comment deadline, and what the sort of next steps are?
Sure. The president had a briefing this morning with members of the team that traveled. The president has a great relationship with President Xi, and we are working on something that we think will be great for everybody. China's top economic advisor, the vice premier, will be coming here next week to continue the discussions with the president's economic team, and we'll keep you posted as those discussions are ongoing. Stephen.
Sarah, in its front page story this morning, the Washington Post, among many things, reported that there are persistent rumors that Mrs. Trump does not live in this White House and that she lives with her parents somewhere in the suburbs. What do you make of those rumors?
I make of the fact that just when you think the Washington Post can't get things any more wrong, they do. And that is an outrageous and ridiculous claim. The First Lady lives here at the White House. We see her regularly. And I think that's something that belongs in tabloid gossip, not on the front pages of the Washington Post, and I hope that they'll do better next time. Peter?
Sarah, we're going to hear from the First Lady in a moment. She's going to promote, among other things, good behavior among children. Part of this effort has to do with cyberbullying right now. Does the President accept any responsibility for American skepticism that the First Lady from the White House would be speaking out against cyberbullying?
Look, this is something that is extremely important to the First Lady. I'm not going to get ahead of her announcement or her comments. In fact, I'm only going to take one last question because we got to make sure that we get there so nobody misses that. And the President will also be joining the First Lady at that event, and so we want to make sure everybody has a chance to tune in. Aisha, we'll take your question last.
To be clear, the question was about him, not about her. I know that we'll wait to hear what she says, but does he accept responsibility for this climate that exists right now, that there is the need to sort of address an issue like cyberbullying?
I think the idea that you're trying to blame cyberbullying on the President is kind of ridiculous when it comes to kids. This is something that has been problematic and something that we have seen over the last decade. And the First Lady sees it to be an important issue and something that she wants to address, and she'll do that here shortly. Aisha.
Thanks, Sarah. There have been some reports that an Israeli intelligence firm was hired to kind of dig up dirt on former Obama administration officials regarding the Iran nuclear deal. Does the White House have any knowledge of that, or the idea that any Trump aides were involved in hiring this intelligence firm?
I'm not aware of anything on that front. If something comes up, we'll let you guys know. Thanks so much. We hope you'll join us here in the Rose Garden with the First Lady and the President rolling out her initiatives. Thanks, guys.
Is he introducing? Is that what you're doing?
I'm asking you all to join me today and commit to promoting values such as encouragement, kindness, compassion, and respect in our children. With those values as a solid foundation, our kids will be better equipped to deal with many of the evils in our world today. In my year as First Lady, I have also learned that it's oftentimes after a tragedy that you see the strength and resilience of the human spirit. I have been heartened to see children across this country using their voices to speak out and try to create change. They're our future and they deserve a voice. I receive many letters from children who have been bullied or feel threatened on social media. I'm here with one goal: helping children and our next generation. And I believe that if we all come together, we can start to affect positive change for our children. Much of my focus has been towards understanding the negative effects the opioid epidemic is having on our children and young mothers. I have seen firsthand both the medical and personal results. And while this crisis has taken hold of our country, the American people have responded. I'm proud of this administration's commitment to battling this epidemic. I want to nurture and protect the most valuable part of our society and our future, children. I hope you will join me today in my efforts and ask for your support. And I believe together we can make a real difference.
Ladies and gentlemen, the First Lady of the United States, Mrs. Melania Trump.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Welcome to the White House. As a mother and as First Lady, it concerns me that in today's fast-paced and ever-connected world, children can be less prepared to express or manage their emotions, and oftentimes turn to forms of destructive or addictive behavior such as bullying, drug addiction, or even suicide. I feel strongly that as adults, we can and should be best at educating our children about the importance of a healthy and balanced life. So today, I'm very excited to announce Be Best, an awareness campaign dedicated to the most valuable and fragile among us, our children. There is one goal to be best, and that is to educate children about the many issues they are facing today. If we truly listen to what our kids have to say, whether it be their concerns or ideas, adults can provide them the support and tools they need to grow up to be happy and productive adults who contribute positively to society and their global communities. At the same time, children deserve every opportunity to enjoy their innocence. Every child should know it is safe to make mistakes and that there are supportive adults and friends nearby to catch them if they fail. We also need to be mindful that they should learn to trust in themselves and their own emotions. I believe our responsibility lies in the critical time before a child reaches adulthood. Let us teach children the importance of all aspects of their well-being, which includes a social, emotional, and physical health. There are too many critical issues facing children today. So the three main pillars of Be Best will include well-being, social media use, and opioid abuse. Together, I believe we should strive to provide kids with the tools they need to cultivate their social and emotional health. We can and should teach children the importance of social and self-awareness, positive relationship skills, and responsible decision-making. Once a child understands these vital skills, they will be able to communicate openly with one another and instill positive feelings of mutual respect, compassion, and self-esteem. Let us teach our children the difference between right and wrong and encourage them to be best in their individual paths in life. Take, for example, Christian Bucks, a young man from York, Pennsylvania, who is here with us today. When he was in second grade, Christian introduced the Buddy Bench at his elementary school to address loneliness and help other kids build new friendships. The Buddy Bench allows classmates to connect during recess and helps ensure that no student feels lonely. If a child sits on the bench, it signals other students to come over and ask them to play. Christian school and community embrace the Buddy Bench, and today at least one can be found in all 50 states. Thank you, Christian, for your commitment to kindness. You should be very proud of your work, which is, I know, help countless children. Please stand up. Bravo. I'd also like to talk about Orchard Lake Middle School in West Bloomingfield Township, Michigan. I visited the school in October as part of National Bullying Prevention Month to speak to its students about the importance of being kind. While I was there, I visited their Viking Huddle class, which focuses on social emotional learning and teaches lessons about respecting others, inclusion, and being kind. As part of Be Best, I plan to highlight ideas and programs such as Buddy Bench and Viking Huddle class, with the hope that other schools or community groups will be inspired to replace their efforts and take steps to improve the well-being of our children. We have invited some of the Viking Huddle class here today. Thank you all for being and taking time here with us in the White House. As we all know, social media can be both positively and negatively affect on our children, but too often it's used in negative ways. When children learn positive online behaviors early on, social media can be used in productive ways and can affect positive change. I do believe that children should be both seen and heard, and it is our responsibility as adults to educate and remind them that when they're using their voice, so please stop hurting me. Kalani and her family have joined us here today, and I'm happy to report that since posting her video, many have watched it, and most importantly, people have reached out to offer support and kindness. Thank you, Kalani, for being brave enough to share your story, and also for using your experience to bring positive change. Please stand up, Kalani. I first learned about the real consequences of our nation's opioid epidemic during my husband's campaign. Since then, I have met with and learned from many people who have been affected by this true crisis. In October, I traveled to West Virginia to tour Lily's Place. the nation's first nonprofit infant recovery center. Lily's Place puts a priority on the whole family so that infants born dependent on drugs are given the best opportunity to thrive. They have been successful in this endeavor because parents are also given the support and tools needed to recover and succeed. Lily's Place is a testament to the extraordinary work that everyday people can do when they put their mind to it. I will use Be Best to bring attention to programs such as this in order to encourage conversation and replication. In February, I went to Cincinnati Children's Hospital in Ohio, and a panel of doctors briefed me on the devastating effects that opioids are having, but also their important research on neonatal abstinence syndrome. I'm pleased to say that representatives from both Lily's Place and Cincinnati Children's Hospital are here today. Thank you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for your heroic work on behalf of children. I want to thank the many people I have met with and learned from over the past year while researching these vital topics on behalf of children. This includes the cabinet secretaries who have joined us here today, as well as representatives from Microsoft, Google, Facebook, Twitter, Snap, Amazon, National Safety Council, and so many more. I would like to thank the President, the Vice President, Karen Pence, and other members of the administration, as well as the members of Congress who are here today. I'm honored to have you all with me, and I look forward to working together on the behalf of children in the coming years. In my time as First Lady of the United States, I will make every effort to be best at championing the many successful well-being programs in existence today and teach the tools and skills for emotional, social, and psychical well-being. I will also work to shine a spotlight on the people, organizations, and programs across the country that are helping children overcome the many issues they're facing as they grow up. I will continue speaking with leaders in the technology industry about children's online habits and raising awareness around the importance of positive behaviors. I will continue to work with those who are fighting drug addiction. And most importantly, I will continue to travel and speak to children directly about both their victories and difficult realities they face. My hope is that together we can be best at helping children and families find effective ways to educate themselves and support each other. I'm asking you all to join me in providing support and guidance to our children so that we can make a real difference. How we raise and educate our children on a variety of topics will provide the blueprint for the next generation. Together, let's encourage children to dream big, think big, and do all they can to be best in everything that they do. Thank you all for being here today. God bless you, your families, our children, and God bless the United States of America. And now it is my pleasure to call my husband to the stage to sign a proclamation calling today, May 7th, Be Best Day. Mr. President?
Melania, thank you very much. That was truly a beautiful and heartfelt speech. It's the way she feels, very strongly. America is truly blessed to have a First Lady who is so devoted to our country and to our children. Over the past 15 months, Melania has visited hospitals, schools, families who have suffered from the opioid crisis and suffered very deeply. Everywhere she has gone, Americans have been touched by her sincerity, moved by her grace, and lifted by her love. Melania, your care and compassion for our nation's children, and I have to say this, and I say it to you all the time, inspires us all. Today we pledge to be best. Best for our families, best for our communities, and best for our nation. And now I am proud to sign the Be Best proclamation, and I think you all know who's going to get the pen. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, very much. Thank you. Thank you, Mike.
How are you feeling?
Looking forward to Wednesday.
There, we good? Everybody good?
No, I just said that I'm looking forward for this meeting with Ms. Haspel, and I think it'll be a very productive meeting. I look forward. I have some questions, and as all of us do, you know, we're interested in getting the hearing done on Wednesday and seeing what my colleagues have, their questions they have that they have concerns with, and then we'll make some decisions after that. But looking forward to seeing her meeting with her.
Do you have concerns about the?
Really, I think, you know, this is a professional. She's a professional, and she deserves the right for us to open-mindedly, I think, in very open way of listening to her and let her explain herself and the job that she's done for our country. I think we owe that to her.
Senator Wyden said this was an A to Z cover-up with what the documents have been released.
You know, I have all the respect for all of my colleagues. We work in a very close-knit group on the Intelligence Committee in a very bipartisan way. I just think that I'm looking forward to my meeting with her, and I will make up my own mind. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know. Everybody's trying to get into the position, so I appreciate it.
Thanks, Alex. Sorry.
Sorry.
Ms. Haspel, any chance you withdraw from this nomination? Any chance you...
Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go.
Oh,
not yet. Okay.
Here we go.
Mostly I just don't like to be on the camera.
Hello, everybody. Let me just say very quickly that I appreciate so much Gina coming and speaking with me. We've had a great conversation. We've talked about a lot of things that helped clarify for me, and it was very helpful, and I just appreciate her so much. And I'm looking forward to the hearing on Wednesday to see what my other colleagues and the concerns they might have and questions they may have, and learn a little more. So as of right now, it was a great meeting, and I appreciate very much her being.
Thank
you so much.
It was an excellent meeting, Senator. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I know
I'm
you-
looking forward to
well,
Wednesday,
I'm looking
sir.
forward to hearing all the other concerns and questions and answers.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your service.
Ms. Haspel, why did you think about withdrawing your nomination? I'm sorry, what was your rationale?
Senator Manchin. Another word or two with you?
Eddie.
Very open-minded. I'm very open.
Are you confident that enough of her background is unclassified that you can
Talk
about it publicly, that it can come up
No,
in the
but let me
hearing
just say one thing. We have two hearings coming up, right? We have an open and a closed. And I'm anxious to hear. I'm very open-minded, as you know. And I have curiosity to hear what my other colleagues may have concerns over and the answers that they'll receive. I had a nice conversation, as you know, right now. She has two other meetings, and And this is the process we go through,
Did
guys.
she explain why she thought about withdrawing when you talked to her?
I think she's going to have a great answer for you on that one.
Senator.
Check your six. Check your six. This is clear. That's where the cop is. You go, guys. Heads up, heads up. Coming down the stairs. Here we go.